Hi guys, it is 5:17 p.m. on Thursday, the 195th day I'm doing this. Here is your daily dose of hope. Going through a lot, but as always, I want to potentially help people. So here are some mottos I'm adopting that might help you. One of them is don't give up. And I don't mean that in a trite way. I mean that in a visceral way. So, whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't mean you have to push every day unless you literally have to. But, it doesn't mean you have to, figure things out every day even. But just don't give up and make that a goal, because then you're guaranteed success. And that does actually make a difference. The other one that's helping me that I thought of yesterday is I don't have to be confident, but I do have to be brave. I feel like my body went through like 10 panic attacks yesterday, truly. And it's confusing, it's all these things, but it's because memories are coming back and I'm starting to realize things. And things are going on at the moment too. And when I told myself, because I was basically, the bottom line is I was researching stuff, but I was by myself, I was triggered, I was scared, all these things. If I had told myself do this confidently, it just wouldn't have happened. It's like a form of perfectionism for me. But when I said you don't have to be confident, you just have to be brave. Brave could mean opening a website even though you're trembling, right? See, you might not be confident opening it, but you took the step because you were being brave, right? So that's helping me. Those two mottos is like, I'm not giving up, and I don't have to be confident, but I do need to be brave. I'm really starting to see things. I'm really starting to make connections. And it's incredibly disheartening and shocking and unbelievable, but true. But the difference I'm doing is I don't need to feel shame because I'm not doing these actions, right? So, and another tip, again, especially like neurodivergent, you might not think this way, or, is the phrase of like pause before responding. Totally valid, totally useful. However, I would elaborate on that personally now and say pause until you can see it clearly. There are people who will prey on our true struggle and, reduction in being able to remember things and being able to process things. They will prey on that. And one, I was going to say antidote, but that's not the right word, but one defense against that is get it in writing. And if you're looking at it and the fact is, you are not seeing it clearly, or you are confused or whatever, do not respond. That might sound obvious, but I didn't realize that, I'm not, it's hard to deal with someone who, wants to hurt you. So, but I'm still here, and I haven't given up, and I'm being brave. And it is helping a lot of things not be okay, not at all okay, but helping it make sense to me as far as this is why you struggle, you know? And it's all true because these memories are coming back. It's like, oh, yeah. And then I have always struggled with like sequencing, but my brain's starting to organize it and be like, this is what's actually happened, you know? This is why on this time, when it could have been a, you know, a breakthrough or a positive thing, this is why it went the other direction. And whew, so, and I would also say, yes, we are responsible for our emotions. We are responsible for our responses. And also, I would, you know, what is the word? Plead with you and myself, telling myself this too, that if you're reading something, like you're by yourself and your initial response is like terror or fear or something, there's a reason for it, right? So you are responsible for finding out the reason, but do not, you know, chastise yourself for having that, not reaction publicly, but that reaction inside. There's a reason for it, you know? And I'm really starting to see that. Like there's been reasons for everything. So I don't know what is going to happen, to be perfectly honest, but I also was like, you know what? I'm actually not doing anything wrong. So I can continue to speak when I can speak and just remind myself, like, yes, this is heinous behavior, but it's not your behavior, you know? So you don't need to feel guilty for someone else's actions. I do think that's like the neurodivergent part in me that wants to understand it logically, but it's not logic, it's something else. So, that being said, remember you are this guy, you were here yesterday, you are here today, you will be here tomorrow, and you deserve to be here every single day. And, you know, I hope something in some of the things I'm saying helps. I'm just speaking the truth from my heart because I do think I'm here for a reason. I think there's a reason I haven't given up. I think there's a reason I have not, you know, turned dark, you know. And even though yesterday was really hard, I'm hoping, and I have this, hope that it was releasing a lot of stuff. So I'm still recovering from the release, but it was a release. Because instead of the fear preventing me from doing the research, basically it's like I felt the feelings, but holy cow, are they intense and, you know, mind-blowing, because it's like, and I do see now how I process externally. So when I don't get to talk, when I don't get to share, it makes sense why it was killing me. Literally. And I would suggest saying I am feeling whatever. Because even though we might not realize it at the time, when you say those words, you actually are separating at least like a millimeter from the entire thing. Like if you're having a flashback and you say, I am having a flashback, now you are not fully being consumed by the flashback, right? You're like, it's like there's you and you're having the flashback. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be fun, or you might not even at the time see the separation, but there is a separation. Another thing I do want to share, because again, you know, the way my brain is, I never saw like trickle down effect, all this stuff. Also, I should not have to live like this, but regardless. Um, Last night, after that day of just terror, um, every day, I want to say it's been at least 50 days now in a row, at least, I have committed, truly committed to not bringing my phone to bed or earbuds. And last night was definitely a test of that. And the recording's about to stop, like almost out of storage. So just self care is really important and keep it up. Okay, love you guys. Have a great day.